Hello. So, gonna wait for a minute. I like this filter. So, welcome everybody to this energy clearing, this live. Okay. Today's live is we're gonna be talking about how you can release the fear of what people what others think, what people think. Okay, if you're joining on, if you're joining, and you're actually joining because you just received notification of the energy clearing and you're coming to experience it, I want you to share with me what is it that you struggle with. Okay, so what is it that you're afraid of people thinking? So what was coming through with this, okay, is that when we're afraid of when we're afraid of what people think, okay, what others might think, really what we're afraid of is the judgment. We're afraid of the perceived judgment that we might receive when people think whatever they're going to think. Okay? And the reason why we're tapping into this topic today, the fear of what people think, is because if you are afraid of what people think and you're afraid of the judgment that you might receive, okay, what will happen, if you're afraid of the judgment, is that you'll avoid the judgment at all costs, okay? So you'll do whatever you can to avoid receiving judgment, okay? And then if you're doing whatever you can to avoid receiving judgment because you're afraid of receiving it and you don't like the feeling of it, okay, that can result in you falling into people-pleasing patterns, So if you're avoiding receiving judgment, you can fall into people-pleasing patterns because it's easier for you to not feel the judgment, to not have to worry about someone is going to think of you if you do whatever you want, let's say, okay? So it's easier to just fall back into people-pleasing instead of receiving the judgment, instead of feeling that, instead of experiencing it. Because what happens is, or a reason why you might want to avoid receiving judgment at all costs is because whatever the judgment that you're afraid of receiving, okay, for example, because on some level maybe you believe that about yourself and you don't want to experience that. You don't want to, or in the past maybe you've received that judgment, okay? Maybe you've received that judgment, or you've received judgment maybe when you were younger, okay, or in your past, and the feeling of receiving that judgment was just too much, There's a pain that can come when you receive judgment. And when we receive judgment, especially at a very young age, this is where we pick up these patterns, it can hurt, it can hurt a lot. And what we do then is we don't like judgment, we associate judgment with us feeling, ashamed, maybe feeling like we're bad people, and then we'll avoid it at all costs, okay? So why I'm sharing this with you is because unless you're able to unless you're able to actually get over the fear of what other people think, right? Hold on 1 second. Yeah, unless you're able to actually get over the fear of what other people think, especially if you tend to have people-pleasing patterns, you'll constantly find yourself falling back into those patterns. Constantly, okay? Because what you're trying to avoid is you're trying to avoid the wound. You're trying to avoid receiving the judgment. And then when you receive the judgment, it's like you believe it, you know? You're trying to avoid feeling that again and believing that about yourself. So it's easier for you to just do whatever that takes to just avoid judgment. And how do we avoid judgment? Is we live to please other people. We do whatever it is that keeps other people happy so that we avoid judgment. Because when you live a life that's for yourself, when you choose yourself, when you put yourself first, put your needs first, you're gonna receive judgment, okay? You're gonna receive judgment. You're gonna receive judgment from people that believe that it's wrong or that it's selfish to put yourself first. Okay, you're definitely going to receive judgment when you put yourself first. Okay, so this is why it's so important to overcome this fear of judgment or the fear of what other people think, and what it takes to like release the fear of what others think is to really look at for yourself. Okay, well, what am I afraid people will think of me first of all, and then what the answer to that will be, it's a judgment. You're afraid to receive a judgment, and that's what you're trying to avoid, because maybe one time in the past you've received that judgment, or maybe on some level you believe the judgment, whatever it is. For example, maybe if the judgment is I'm a bad person, maybe on some level you believe that because you took on that belief, okay, and then you're trying to avoid feeling that, okay. So in order to break free from like really like fear and being afraid of what other people think, the key is to identify what are the judgments that you're trying to avoid receiving, and what are the judgments within those that you believe actually about yourself. And then when you can do that and release those, when you can get to the root of those and actually release them, so you're not aligning with those judgments about yourself, okay? When you don't believe those judgments about yourself, then when somebody else judges you, it can't stick. It doesn't stick, and it goes over your head, you know? It can't affect you then. So the key is to identify what are the judgments you're holding about yourself that you're trying to avoid receiving from other people and their judgments, okay? And this is the work that we're gonna do in my 4-week program, Breaking Free from People Pleasing, which starts on Tuesday. This is what we're going to do. We're going to identify all those intricacies, all those judgments. We're going to get to the root of what that is. We're going to help you to identify the judgments that you're holding about yourself that you're trying to avoid, so that you can release this fear of what other people think. That's exactly what we're going to do in this 4-week program, which I'm inviting everybody to if it's resonating with you, okay? But what we're going to do now is I'm going to bring in some energy clearing just on the topic, okay? So what was coming through earlier when I was tuning in about what people needed for this live, whether you're watching now or whether you're watching on the replay, it's going to resonate with you, okay? It's like when we're kind of conditioned to care so much about what other people think, what can happen is it can create a belief within us that what other people think about me is true. So if somebody thinks something about you, or it's a judgment, automatically it's like we align with it. We think, oh, that must be true if they're saying that. okay? But that's not the truth. But that can happen, you know? We can take on that idea that, oh, well, if they think that, well, then it must be true. So what we're going to do now is we're going to release this idea, okay? The idea that, the belief that what others think about me is true. So if you would like to clear, release, and let go of this idea, this belief now, just say yes, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to release this belief using Theta Healing, okay? So in order for you to receive that, all you have to do is just simply say yes, okay? Okay. And all of the... Right, so what else is coming through then? All of the power and all of the value and the significance that you all attach, okay, to what other people think, what they say, okay? Can we just release whatever it is, whatever the value is, whatever, like, how all of the significance you put on it? Can we just release the significance, and can we actually download you all with the truth about what that is when if somebody thinks something of you, or if somebody has a judgment of you, okay? What that is it's literally just their point of view of the world and people based off of their experiences in life. That's all that is. That's just how they see the world, okay? And if just because one person sees things in that way, it doesn't mean that it's true, okay? So can we bring in the truth of that also to you? So what we're going to do is we're going to download this awareness into your subconscious and into your energy. And if you would like that, just say yes. It's that simple, okay? Okay. Let's also teach you all, okay, how to recognize the difference between what people think about you, or like other people's judgments of you, and what you know to be true about yourself, because there's a difference. So can we teach you what it feels like to recognize the difference between what somebody thinks about you and what you know to be true? Okay, so if you'd like that, just simply say yes. But also, let's teach you all what it feels like, and can we show you all how to, okay, have allowance for what other people think. Now, what that means is that you can just let somebody have their idea or have their thought or opinion because it's theirs. Like, it's what they believe, and it has nothing to do with you. It's what they believe about the world and people, etc. But what that means is that you can let them have that thought and not make it mean anything about you, and attach no meaning about it to you, to yourself. So can we show you all how to have allowance for what other people think, and teach you what that feels like? Yes? Now what this is gonna do, this is gonna create a lot of release for you, okay? But in order for you to really get down to the root and fully release like this fear of what other people may think of you, it's really going to be about identifying the places or the times, the experiences where you've received judgment that has really stuck with you, you know? And that will be rooted in your past, most likely in childhood, and it's a matter of just identifying those judgments, okay, those scenarios, and clearing it from the root, okay? Because it's always rooted in these past experience. And when you can do that specifically and on an individual basis, then it can release everything from the root, and then we can release this fear of what other people think way more easier. Okay, and that's exactly what we're going to do in the 4-week program, breaking free from people pleasing. Okay, so if you would like, so it starts on Tuesday, the 24th of September. Okay, and we have 4 weeks. It's a 4-week program, and the whole idea is to basically, what we're going to do is we're going to identify the belief systems and the patterns that are subconsciously ingrained in you that keep you stuck in people pleasing. Basically, we have it separated into 4 separate calls, okay, each with different topics. And if you want more information on that, you can go to the link in my bio and you can literally read up all the information about it, and you can also sign up there. Or else you can just reach out to me in the DMs and I'll answer any questions you have. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to identify those subconscious belief systems and patterns that keep you stuck in people pleasing, and we're going to release them all from the root, basically from where they started. We're going to do it all on a group level, and it's going to be super fast. Okay, I'm going to work with people individually and I'm going to work with people on a group level too. And what that's going to do, it's going to allow you to break free from the pattern, so that you're able to put your needs first without feeling guilty, without feeling horrible, without feeling like a bad person, so that you can say no so much easier, that you can prioritize yourself, that you can live for you. You can still be a really nice, kind, caring, thoughtful person and do all these things for yourself too. But just people are not conditioned that way. And what we're going to do is we're going to decondition you all from these patterns so that you can actually choose yourself and put yourself first once and for all. And it's going to be epic, and it's going to be epic, and it's going to be epic, and it's going to be life-changing. Okay? So, if you need any more information, okay, just send me a little DM, or you can go straight to the link in my bio and that has all the information there. We start on Tuesday, and yeah, it's going to be amazing. So thank you to anyone who popped on and had a listen, and to anyone who's going to be watching on the replay. Enjoy, and I'll talk to you all soon. Okay, bye.